Just as there are legendary maguses, there are also legendary bounty hunters, those who would chase their targets to the ends of the earth for the right price. These legends would mark their place in history as those who brought down corrupt kings, power-hungry generals, or backstabbing traitors. One such legend was Saruk, the Hunter, a bounty hunter nearing the end of his career. As Saruk found out, even legends grow old. Afraid of having no one to carry on his will, his days got long. Each day he contemplated who he could leave his legacy with. As he was walking through a worn-torn field back from his latest hunt, he found his answer. Saruk noticed a young kid tracking down a wild bird and stabbing it with a homemade wooden knife. How long had he been surviving like this? Saruk thought to himself. It was amazing the boy could display such skill at this age. Following the child back to his campsite, he was met with the tip of a knife pointed towards his neck. Saruk smiled and commended the child for being able to realize he was being followed. Opening his pack, Saruk took out a piece of meat from his hunt earlier to cook on the fire. However, Saruk was offering more than just a hearty meal, but an opportunity for someone to carry on his legacy. Extending his hand out, he introduced himself. Saruk. The child looked up and shook his hand while muttering a single word. Gondar. Each day after that, Gondar honed his skill with a blade, learned to move in the shadows, and used his naturally keen senses to track down targets. Soon Saruk took Gondar on hunts with him, sometimes sharing a meal, sometimes sharing a bounty. Eventually, the boy was old enough to go on his own. As the years went by, the stories of Gondar began to surface around the campfires of fugitives. The tales of how he infiltrated and escaped from every impenetrable fortress spread throughout the world. Legendary thieves were brought in to pay for their crimes. Even the most elusive of criminals could not avoid being tracked down and brought to justice. For the right price, anyone could be found. Hearing stories of his student's success, Saruk decided it was time for Gondar's final test, to see if he was truly worthy of carrying on the legacy of Saruk the Hunter. Sneaking into a prince's bedroom at night, Saruk slayed the prince's prized Hellkite in front of its owner and made his getaway. Enraged, the prince offered the highest reward in the history of the land for the capture of Saruk, dead or alive. Nearly every bounty hunter in the land went after him. However, most were unable to even track Saruk down. Those who did find him met an unfortunate end. Naturally, it fell to Gondar to find Saruk and bring him to justice. Finding Saruk's camp, Gondar saw that his old master had been expecting him and attempted to flee deeper into the forest. As the chase went on, Gondar evaded the countless traps Saruk had set, the very same that claimed the lives of other hunters. Upon reaching a clearing, Saruk stopped to face Gondar, blade to blade. Even with his advanced age, Saruk could still match even the deadliest of assassins. As the battle grew long, each hunter exhausted their supply of tricks. The sun set and gave way to darkness. Both hunters faded into the shadows, attempting to find the other. The shadows danced around the clearing, biding their time until an opening was found. However, Saruk made the mistake of underestimating how keen Gondar's senses had grown. With a single strike, Gondar seized victory. As Saruk lay there mortally wounded, he smiled, knowing that he chose the correct one to leave his legacy with, and closed his eyes. Gondar carried the body of his master to the steps of the prince's castle and left him there. For the first and the only time, the bounty would go unclaimed.